Ranks reset a bit ago, but I thought it'd be interesting to look at what League's rank system does. So before the reset, I got the percent of players at each rank from League of Grass, like NA solo queue. So on the left is Bronze 5, then Bronze 4, then Bronze 3, and so on. And like the first thing that jumps out at you is the every fifth division looks way higher than it should be. So this line comes from Lois and R. I think what it did was a lot of local regressions between neighbors, but basically it's some black magic that comes up with like a nice smooth curve to fit people's ranks. So it's obviously not a perfect fit, but it looks pretty good except for the tail. And again, the fifth divisions are way above where they would be on the curve. Now, what's interesting is that the lowest regression just spat out the red line, but the blue line comes from a normal distribution. And as you can see, it actually fits almost perfectly. And like this isn't a curve I just made up, it's like a real normal distribution, and it kind of sort of fits the actual data about people's ranks. So since it's fairly close, that suggests skill in league, or at least like how high a given person gets an account in solo queue might be normally distributed. But what's more interesting is the way people's ranks don't fit the normal distribution. Like I said earlier, the uh, most striking difference is each fifth division is way higher than it should be. Like proportionally, like relative to the number of people around it and what it should be. Like Diamond 5 is the biggest offender, which is probably why it gets such a terrible reputation. But like just in terms of the absolute number of people, like Gold 5 and Silver 5 have the most. And in a way, what I think this means is actually that Riot System works like it's designed to, because once you get gold or diamond or whatever, it's a lot harder to demote back down, which is why in the fifth division you get a lot of people who, in terms of MMR or skill, like aren't there, but haven't lost enough to demote. And not only is there that safety once you reach gold or plat or whatever, there might be some additional like prestige that makes people want to play more to get them. So like if you're plat 1, of course you're going to grind out a ton of games until the season ends because you really want to get diamond. Whereas if you're diamond 5, why bother? Like if your rank is all you care about and you aren't getting close to getting out of diamond, you don't have the same incentive to try. So even though leagues are just like a visible system overlaid on top of them, MMR, they do mean something to people. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is sort of up to you. And the other thing to note is, even accounting for the effective fifth divisions, the ranks don't completely fit nicely under a normal curve, especially the left tail doesn't go all the way down. Now, that might just be because it's easier or commoner to be much worse than average than it is to be much better than average, but even so, it's weird that the lowest possible divisions still have like 3% of the player base, whereas the ones in Diamond all have less than like 1%. And so, one solution I've heard people suggest is to make a tier below bronze, like tinfoil or something. And it could even be like Challenger, where there's no limit to like how high you can go, except instead of high, you could just go like infinitely low. But apart from the fact that people might purposely try to lose, I don't think it actually addresses the root of the problem, because if you think about how ranked works, one team wins and one team loses, but overall ranks are conserved. I have no idea if that's true or not, but it makes sort of sense. So let's assume it mostly is. So, and it all sort of balances out in the long run. So what the ranks originally come from is people's MMR when they start to do placements for a new account, which is assigned arbitrarily by Riot. And I think a fresh account starts like mid or low silver. So what that means is the median account is going to be silver. Like there'll be as many below low silver as there will be above it. So because new accounts start at silver 4, the like median league account will always be silver 4. And that seems a little odd to me, to because there are 5 tiers in league, so you would think Riot would start people in the middle, so they would, I don't know, fit nicely. But in a way, it makes sense because it makes attaining higher tiers more of an accomplishment. Like if more people place gold, then gold wouldn't mean as much. And It also just gives people more tiers to climb, which I guess is good for Riot because they want you to spend more time playing. So, like, even though the tier system warps people's ranks away from where they would be on a nice, like, pretty normal distribution, it makes sense that they have it since it incentivizes people to play.